From Villa Park, Birmingham, as Aston Villa take on Hull City, the first of many games here on the JB Clark YouTube channel. It's great to be back in the commentary box, and we start in the second city. Tomorrow we have the Community Shield match between Arsenal and Chelsea, a repeat of the last season's FA Cup final, but it's tonight where we've got we're here at Villa Park for the start of the Championship season, and start of a season which is going to take us from here, from Villa Park, via Turf Moor, via Wembley, by Old Trafford, all the way to the 2018 World Cup in Russia, and I hope you can join us for full coverage of that as well. But we're at Villa Park tonight for Hull against City. Before we go into the serious business of tonight's game, I've got some sad news to report from Turf Moor tonight, I'm afraid. There's some bad news. Burnley were playing Hanover 96 in a friendly match at Turf Moor earlier this afternoon. They were winning by 1-0, but there's been some very disturbing crowd scenes in the cricket field stand at Turf Moor this afternoon, and so at half time Burnley were winning 1-0, as I say, through Ben Mee's goal, and but the game unfortunately has had to be abandoned at half time on police advice, and I've got to say, the German fans, they've got to hang their heads in shame, I think, because that to me was the most stupidest thing ever. So some real sad news to come from that, as we're now waiting to come on to Villa Park. And to give you some team news, John Terry, anyway, we'll bring you the Championship scores now. In fact, we'll bring you the full-time scores from earlier on today. Bristol City have beaten Barnsley by 3-0. Cardiff have won 1-0 at Burton. Fulham and Norwich drew 1 apiece. Ipswich beat Harry Redknapp's Birmingham by 1-0. Preston off to a winning start, 1-0 winners against Sheffield Wednesday. QPR have beaten Reading 2-0. Sheffield United 1, Brentford 0, so a good start there for Chris Wilder's team. And Wolves have beaten Championship favourites in Middlesbrough by 1-0. Last night Forest beat Millwall. And last night, of course, Sunderland and Derby finished 1-1, which means we've got one game to bring you tonight. That's between Aston Villa and Hull. John Terry is set to make his debut. So let's go through the two sides just very quickly. With Villa with Johnson in goal, Hutton, Terry, Chester and El Mohammadi. Bakuna, Whelan, Taylor, Lansbury and Hogan, with Agbonwa further forward. As the substitutes bench reads Chris Samba, Jed Steele, Conor Urahan, Bree, Matt Green and Barniarton for relegated Hull, who were relegated from the Premier League last season, of course. McGregor in goal, Aina, Dawson, Hector and Clark. Bowen, Emerickson, Klukas, Grozicki and Campbell and Hernandez up front. Substitutes Mazus, Mannion, Myler, Diamande, Weir, Batty and Lennon. And the referee tonight is Andy Madley. And there is Villa Park, one of the grand old grounds of English football. It's our first visit to this stadium for these commentaries. We've covered Villa once, so that was in the cup tie at Tottenham last year. And Villa Park will hopefully be awash with colour. There's quite a number of fans already in the stadium today. Just a quick look at if we take a sneak peek at the league table at this current moment in time. Bristol City top it on goal difference from QPR, Cardiff, Ipswich, Nottingham Forest, Sheffield United, Wolves. They all have 3 points, and then 9 points you come Derby, Fulham, Norwich, Sunderland, and then obviously the teams they yet to play. Obviously Villa, Bolton have yet to play. They play Leeds tomorrow, of course. Hull have got yet to play, and Leeds too. But Birmingham are 17th, Brentford are 18th, Burton are 19th. The league table went there. Middlesbrough now in 20th. Millwall out of the bottom 3 on goal difference, because Sheffield Wednesday, Barnsley and Reading replaced them in the bottom 3. So some big results there. Wolves beating Middlesbrough there. That was a bit of a shock. But there's Steve Bruce, the Villa manager, as the teams are now out in the tunnel, and a huge war greets them here at Villa Park. John Terry, there he is, the new debutant. I think he's going to be team captain as well. So let's have a look at that Villa side. As I said, let's confirm what formation they're going to play. John Terry does skipper the team, by the way, which is a good move from Steve Bruce, because he will add leadership qualities. He's had many years, of course, at Chelsea, and they're going to play a 4-5-1 formation. Taylor, so it's a back four of Chester, Taylor, Terry Hutton and Taylor as well, so 5 in the midfield. As per Leonard Salixki, he's the new head coach, of course, at Hull, or manager if you want to call him, no money. He's picked a very good team there. Kamil Kozicki, they've done well to keep him. Sam Lucas was a subject of a big move away. Abel Hernandez, they've kept Fraser Campbell up front as well. In fact, they're going with a front three of Bowen, Campbell and Hernandez, so they're going to go for it today. Grozicki, Lucas and Henriksen, purples for 3 in midfield. Should be a real cracker today. Terrific for atmosphere. The whole 10 quite full now at Villa Park. And hopefully I hear on this JB Clark YouTube channel you'll be able to see a lot more of that. Premier League starts on Friday for us. We're at the Emirates Stadium for Arsenal as they begin their Premier League campaign against Leicester City, champions of 2 years ago, of course. But what a moment for John Terry. It's his first ever move in football. He spent many happy years at Chelsea, spent most of his career now he's coming to help Steve Bruce out. They're very good friends, John Terry and Steve Bruce, and there was a lot of talk in the Midlands that he could be going to either one or the other. Birmingham were also after his services, but he chose Villa because of his friendship with Steve Bruce over Birmingham, who are now lost today, and are managed, of course, by Harry Redknapp, who's trying to bring some quality into that side. He was promised a big war chest, so I reckon the talk will be the Midlands. Of course, Wolves have won today. They've been spending a few quid as well, so I'd watch out for them at the top. I think they'd be my dark horses to at least get in the top 6, if not top 2. A lot of pressure will be on the players like Horgan to score the goals for Villa. Real opportunity for people like him. Steve Bruce has had a full pre-season now since taking over. Dawson, former Tottenham captain, now captain of Hull. He'll be hoping that his former England colleague John Terry doesn't get off to the best possible start here at Aston Villa. There's going to be Hull City in the amber and black shirts with the dark shorts to get us underway, and they're going to attack the goal to our right as Lucas plays that back to Dawson. Dawson gets it up the field. Full audio commentary of the Championship, and we'll be bringing you at least 8 or 9, 10 games throughout the regular season from the EFL Championship. Of course, our focus will be more on the Premier League, the FA Cup, the League Cup, and of course, for the first time this season, we'll have Champions League football from the group stage onwards, live and delayed coverage, and then of course at the end of the season it's the World Cup of course in Russia. Will England or any of the home nations make it? Well, we'll keep you abreast of what's going to happen there. Of course there's LTF as well, but we'll remind you what games we have coming up, because we've got quite a number of games in several competitions to come in the next 7 days or so. Well, here we are in a bright sunshine here at Villa Park here in North Birmingham, as Hull go on the break straight away where Kozicki plays that back, and Lucas takes possession and then just calmly plays it back again. Lucas again, number 11, takes the ball forward, plays it in field. But lovely atmosphere around Villa Park. Not quite a full house, there's a few empty seats in the Trinity Row stand opposite on the opposite side of the ground to where we are. 1 minute 21 gone, no goals here. Ball back to Scottish goalkeeper Alan McGregor, kicks right footed well over the halfway line. Again, Terry winning a good header. That'll give him a lot of confidence here. Unfamiliar surroundings now. Gabriel Bongo with a lot to prove this season. He's had a bad couple of years on and off the field. Gabriel Bongo, promising England international. Here's a chance for Bongo inside the penalty area, just pulls the shot wide. In fact, he wasn't. It was Henry Lansbury who'd stolen in there and almost scored the first goal of the season for Aston Villa. Good football. Bongo, as I said, it was involved. Lansbury brought the offside trap, shot from the left hand side of the penalty area, but just wide of the far post of Alan McGregor. and Hull, who were relegated last season, have been pulled apart, but yet no breach on their goal just yet. As I say, Leeds play tomorrow in the 4 o'clock game, and that is against, as Henriksen takes a tumble there. That's away at Bolton Wanderers, who are back in the Championship after one season back in League 2. Henriksen is down on the floor as we see the incident. There was a flailing arm there from Leandro Bacuna, and was that an elbow? Well, I've got to say, I've seen red cards for that. Bacuna did go in with his arm a bit. Did the referee spot it? Well, I'd like to get you guys in there, of course, as ever, we like to hear from everybody who's listening into the game here tonight. So give us your views. No swearing, no bad language, and no distasteful comments, or they will not be read and you will be thrown off the stream. Or you won't get your comments on the stream ever again. So please, as you've got every reason to comment, but please keep your comments clean. Coming up to 3.5 minutes gone, 0-0 between Aston Villa and Hull City. Of course, both teams that have been recently relegated from the Championship. Season before last for Aston Villa, they finished in 20th position, and Hull finished 19th. I think they finished 18th, sorry, the last season. Lost at Crystal Palace, which saw them resign to relegation with a game to spare last season, and they did a manful job under Marco Silva, the previous manager, when he came in halfway through to replace Mike Phelan. Got them with an ace of Wembley in the League Cup final and the League Cup semi-final. They almost beat Manchester United over 2 legs, and they had an heroic attempt to stay up, but they just couldn't do it in the end. He had a good home record as well, and then they had to go and lose it against Sunderland, didn't they? And that was probably the catalyst. And then they had that horrible loss at that horror showdown at Crystal Palace at the back end of the season, which cost them their Premier League status. It's been sort of a yo-yo club for so many years, though. There's Steve Bruce, also up against his former employers. He was home manager until about a year ago, when he left over the lack of funds available to him, because the old owner was trying to sell up the club at the time, and he couldn't promise any transfer funds, and off went Steve Bruce, and the flag has stayed down. Here's a chance for Egbonlahor. He's closing on a goal. Egbonlahor, good save by the goalkeeper Gregor, and that was almost the first opportunity. Gary Egbonlahor showing his pace there and power. And this was a throwback to when he broke into the Villa team about some 10 years ago. Broke the offside trap superbly, cut in from the left hand side, and just couldn't get it past Darren McGregor, who showed very good pieces of agility and caused the angle superbly to deny Egbonlahor what would have been a wonderful opening goal for Aston Villa here this afternoon. But this is what Gabriel Egbonlahor is capable of, and this is why, if he gets back to the sort of form in the next couple of years, which got him an England call-up some 8 or 9 years ago, it's a shame really, because he had the talent, Egbonlahor, and he's just gone off the rails these last 5 or 6 years. He looks the player now today. He certainly looks impressive as away comes Villa again towards the back post, this time showing the first goal, and it is Gabby Egbonlahor crossing from the right hand side. Everybody missing inside the 6-yard box, but it fell invitingly to Gabby Egbonlahor, who finished it off at the back post superbly into the far corner of the net, and Aston Villa take the lead. And well, what about that? And Villa Park rises as one and celebrates a wonderful team goal here. It was built down the right hand side. Lovely football here, and as the cross came in, I think it was the right back who played the ball in. Gabriel Egbonlahor came in, Hogan had a go, and it just came invitingly there for Gabriel Egbonlahor. He's got a lot to prove this year, because he's got the opportunity thanks to, it was Hutton who played the ball in incidentally, and McGregor had no chance. It was a cool finish from Egbonlahor. Looks really sharp in these opening stages of the game. I've been very impressed with him in the opening stages, but he's got a lot of proof this year, because obviously they've lost Jonathan Codger to injury and 1 or 2 other players. So this is a big opportunity for those who have got the opportunity to start today to really give Aston Villa that boost, and they've really took their opportunity. Gabriel Bonglahor from a lovely low cross from the right from Alan Hutton. Really good move there from Aston Villa. So 1-0 to the Villa. And it's no more than what they deserve, really, on the basis of the way the game's gone here at Villa Park. It's been really, really good move up, good build up, and so far Villa getting what they deserve at the moment, which is a 0-0. Hull really haven't got going. It was always going to be a tough test for Hull going to Villa Park today. There's Steve Bruce. He'll be delighted about that, and of course he'd love to put one on his old club. But the way it ended for him acrimoniously, it was so sad the way that he had to part company with Hull. He'd done a remarkable job with them in 3 years at the club. He got them promoted, of course, a couple of times, and he got them to a cup final. So he'd done the hard graft with them. But unfortunately, it's just not gone right so far for the new head coach of Hull. His face looks one of very, very anguished and very, very frightful at the moment, because their team have just simply put, they have not got going. And it's Villa now flicking the on at Bonglahor, trying to get Lansbury in behind that time, and then the long ball forward, that should be Johnston's. He had an impressive little spell. He did really well in the cup tie we covered last year between them and Tottenham at Light Hart Lane, when he kept many saves to keep Villa in the game, and Villa had chances in that match, but ultimately Tottenham was just a little bit too good for Villa on that particular afternoon, as Hull now go searching for the equaliser with Kozicki on the far side. He nearly joined Burnley a year ago, as that cross comes in from Henriksen, or Lucas rather, the ball headed away by John Terry. They're going to have a tough time, I think, against John Terry, the whole City attackers. I really do think so. And here come Hull again, starting to ask one or two questions on the right hand side. Lucas has the ball, plays the ball back to Henriksen. Henriksen does well. Ball still out on the right hand side, crossing towards the back post. Hernandez is on the turn. Abel Hernandez trying to turn. And now opportunity here for the cross to come in from the back post. A header one, and a good header indeed, and it was taken quite easy by Johnston. Tame header in the end, and he's bowled it straight out again, and away come Villa again with Al Mohammadi. Al Mohammadi now running towards the left hand side. He's up against his holding players today, Al Mohammadi. 10 minutes of the first half gone. Gabriel Bonglahor with the goal for Aston Villa. Scores the first goal of JB Claret's 1983 football commentary coverage this season. A nice honour for him, as well as Hutton takes the throw for Villa. 1 goal up this year. Yeah, of course, we're going to be doing more matches than ever before. We covered 40 for you last year. We'll cover a lot more this year, and that has been kept in, I think. The ball got a couple of nicks and almost went into touch on the byline. And here come Hull City, who will go down and looking a little bit shaky, I have to say. Villa looking a more comfortable side. There's Leandro Bacuna, who's had a mixed bag really for Villa since coming a couple of years ago. Didn't really perform to his best. Oh, that's a poor ball back. And it asked a lot of McGregor that. Hector with the ball back. It was an inexplicable back pass halfway inside his own area, played the ball too strongly back, and that is one of the cheapest corners Hull are going to concede all season, I'm afraid. I'm afraid Hull do not look a team at the moment, and what it does do is gives an opportunity for debutant Terry to come forward from the back. Aston Villa incidentally attacking the Whitton Road end here at Villa Park, where all the executive boxes are behind McGregor's goal, as Taylor sends the corner in towards the back post. Flicked on at the back post again by Hogan, but he couldn't get his shot on target. And he did get his shot on target, but it was a tame shot and well fielded by Scotsman McGregor. As Hull comes charging forward, looking to cause a little bit of a shock here at Villa Park and get an equaliser. And their culture will not be happy so far, that is for sure. But Steve Bruce will be happy. Of course, his appointment was, despite the fact that he was despite the fact that he was a former Birmingham City manager for many years. His appointment here was universally approved. Little stat there, Gary Agbonlahor has netted a Villa goal for the 11th successive season in his career, and well, that's good. It's a good little statistic again. Remember to know Jack Grealish, Jelinek or Albert Adoma, as well as Jonathan Kodja, which is always tough as the Hull City fans, as we saw Al Mohammadi there up against his old side today. Al Mohammadi with 13 minutes of the game gone. There's nice little subplots to all this, you know. It's just one of those games that stood out really as a potential big game right from the start, when the fixtures were decided in mid-June. So some real shocks there. Wolves beating Middlesbrough. No, it's not really much of a shock considering how much money Wolves have spent, and they've spent big in their pursuit to get back into the big time for the first time since 2011. Or 2012 I should say. 2012 was the last time they were in the big time. I think Birmingham will be there and thereabouts. I expect Sheffield Wednesday and Middlesbrough and a few other teams. I think Norwich could have a decent season. Leeds had a good season, and then it tailed off badly for them towards the back end of the year. Let's hope the new owners at Leeds don't start sacking managers left, right and centre, or make bizarre managerial appointments. We've had enough of those over the last few years to sink a battleship, as Johnston gets the ball, just casually controls it on the edge of his own penalty area under no great pressure from any particular Hull City player, and it's as you word really. And it's been a dominant first 14.5 minutes from Aston Villa. They've looked they look really good on the ball. They look absolutely superb. And here's Taylor now, number 3, trying to dart forward, but it's cut out by Henriksen. And now a chance for Glucas to get his foot on the ball. Glucas, who was the subject of so few targets from the Premier League this summer, and decided to stay at Hull. And 10 out of 10 for loyalty. Sam Glucas is a very good player, and he's been highly sought after. Mind you, there's still at least a good 2 or 3 weeks of the transfer window to go, and who knows what might happen. Here's a chance now for Hull now as they come charging forward. Grzycki now, number 7, charging forward. Grzycki again gets the ball on the right hand side. Ball back across inside the penalty area, and it's hoisted out for a Hull City throw. But that was better play from Hull. They looked a little bit more threatening on the ball, and when they can get players like Grzycki on the ball, the Polishman, and 1 or 2 other players like that, I think he's a real threat. We saw that towards the back end of the season last year, when despite Hull going down to the Championship, Grzycki was one of their better performers, and you know, his work rate and industry could on another day got Hull out of trouble, and really ended up sending Watford down instead. And 1 or 2 others. Here's Hector now, plays that forward up towards the penalty area, but it's going to be Johnston's ball all day long. Carries it in, no trouble at all. Aston Villa 1, Hull 0. The goal from Gary Agbonlahor. Here's Hutton from Johnston's pass down the right hand side. Hutton has to check back and looks for support, and he's got it here with a chance here for Villa. And again, Hogan was looking menacingly to get on the end of that, but the free kick has been given to Hull City. The referee so far, it's Lansbury here, who's tripped up his man Hector, and in fact he's going to give Lansbury the caution card here. That's a little bit ominous there. Let's have a look at what happened. He's gone through. I think, yeah, he's a little late. I'm not sure at the moment it's a yellow card or not, but now he's got to watch his step now with 16 minutes gone. I think you've got to let one of those, a few of these challenges ride. I think in the opening exchanges of any game, it doesn't matter what time of the season it is. I don't think it was anything malicious. Here's McGregor with the goal kick for Hull City, who trail 1-0. No, can we not have any streams on this, please. No more streams. We don't promote streams on this channel. Okay, so please, please, please do not promote any other streams. We're here for a purpose. Let us serve the purpose, and we don't need people like you coming on and promoting your own things. We're not there to be like that. Alright, so stop that and go away. So 1-0 to Aston Villa. A goal from Gabriel Bonlahor in the first half separates the two teams at this moment in time. The ball has been kept in by Hull, but it's going to fall here for Hogan, and Hogan plays that out, and here's a chance now for Bakuna. Bakuna looking for support. Lansbury waits in the centre. Now got Bonlahor on the far side. Bonlahor gets the crossing. Header one inside the penalty area by Hogan, but it's over the top for a goal kick to Hull City. But a lovely move again from Aston Villa. They're looking absolutely menacing, and Gabriel Bonlahor, he's having a good first 18 minutes so far. I've really been impressed with the work rate and industry of him, which we've seldom seen over the last sort of 3 or 4 years because of injury and one thing or another, or maybe he's been too lackadaisical, I suppose. And he certainly didn't show the effort when they were demoted a couple of years ago, when they were demoted with a real whimper at the end. And there's been some real stories in the in the Football League today. 8 goals have been scored by Luton Town in their game. We'll bring you more on that at half time. Here's Hutton trying to play himself out of a cul-de-sac, gets it back to Johnston. Johnston kicks high and long, and ball now goes over halfway, but now the ball comes back once more, and here's Michael Dawson, the former Tottenham centre-back, now Hull City captain. Plays the ball over the halfway line. Now a chance really for Hull to try and exploit. Henriksen has it on halfway. Back to Dawson. Dawson back to Henriksen. Henriksen now down the right hand side. Tries to feed Grozicki, and he can't succeed in doing so. Still 1-0 to Villa. The goal by Bonlahor. Still anything can happen. Here's Clark. Clark now to Grozicki. Grozicki back to Henriksen. Henriksen over to the far side. Bowen wants it on that side as well. Bowen plays the ball back, and a long ball in there towards Hernandez, and Campbell as well was in there too, inside the area looking for that long ball. But that's the first real move that Hull are smashing together. Fraser Campbell just breaking the offside trap a little bit, just couldn't get a purchase on it, and it was into Johnson's hands, no trouble at all. And at the other end we got Hogan down the right hand side. Hogan pulls the ball back, chance here inside on the edge of the area for Henry Lansbury, but he couldn't take the opportunity then, the former Nottingham Forest and Arsenal man. As Dawson now tries to slow the game down a little bit for Hull, try and get them moving once again. 1-0 they trail against a very good Villa side. I have to say they've done exceptionally well so far in the game. Just remind you that you can comment, but please do not promote live streams or anything like that. We will get rid of those comments later on when I get 5 minutes at half time, as we come up towards the halfway mark of the first half. Hull City player went tumbling there, quite fairly according to the referee. Referee playing advantage there. There was a foul there, and referee right to play advantage because Grozicki's on the ball. Grozicki, edge of the area. Grozicki with a shot and straining the arms of Johnson, but decent refereeing there, I have to say, because he could have gone for a free kick, but he played an advantage. It was the number 20 who's down there, and Sam Glucas is the one who's taken a tumble. And Matt Claret has already reported the comments. Fantastic, Chris, fantastic there. And Bonlahor is down on his haunches as well. And that would be a shame for Gabriel Bonlahor to leave the game, because he's had a magnificent 21 minutes. He's played a magnificent first 21 minutes so far here at Villa Park this afternoon. Yellow card has been shown. I think it was for the earlier challenge the referee gave the advantage for. It was Whelan, number 6, who's got the booking. They're putting some good players here at Villa this season, and I think, although Middlesbrough are the favourites by the bookies, or they were at the start, it was a bit of a hard lunge there on Whelan, and it did entitle the referee to give the advantage. Glenn Whelan, who's come across the city from West Bromwich Albion, just 3 miles or so from the Hawthorns to Villa Park. But I've said it, I'm predicting that the main stories from this season's Championship could come from the West Midlands. Aston Villa, Birmingham City have got top quality managers. Wolves have spent massively this summer as well, looking to get back into the top flight for the first time since 2012. Birmingham aiming to get back there for the first time since 2011. They've had a bad start though. 1-0 reversed this afternoon away from home. Not a good start for Harry Redknapp away at Ipswich. Steve Bruce looks on. I think Bronwell going to be okay. Whelan has picked up a booking incidentally for the challenge, which the referee had played an advantage for. Well, it's all happening here in the Football League, and we'll bring you abreast what happened. And also, not just if you haven't switched on at the start, I did give you the Championship score. 3-kick, mind you, to Aston Villa on the far side, way inside Hull City's territory. And the referee has decided it's a 3-kick only, not a yellow card, against Michael Dawson. Lansbury going in there. He was late there, I have to say. Well, we've seen yellow cards given this afternoon for less. I'm surprised the referee didn't book the captain of the Villa, the former Tottenham player, for that, and the current Hull captain so far. 3-kick on the far side, and it's going to be Lansbury, I think, to take it. 2, 4, 5 Villa players in there, including John Terry, of course. Be a marvellous story for the channel if we could see John Terry scoring his debut. 3-kick in towards the penalty area, headed out by Hull City. But Whelan will get the ball back for Aston Villa. Play it back to Hutton. Hutton on the halfway line, knocks it in there towards the far side. Lansbury on the chase, but he won't be able to reach that. And a goal kick it is to Hull City. Halfway through the first half down at Villa Park in Birmingham. It's the first time we've actually covered a match here in the second city of Birmingham. The time that we've been commentating on this particular channel. Birmingham, we've got 2 magnificent football teams, of course. Aston Villa, of course, and we're watching in Birmingham across the way. Fierce rivalries, and of course we'll try and, if unless Burnley are playing on the same day, we'll bring you both second city derbies if they're televised live and in full on the YouTube channel. Because I think it's going to be a real. I think the story might come from the West Midlands this year. I really do. I just fancied someone from the Midlands, and it was nice to see Midlands football represented a bit more in the Premier League next season. It's a great hotbed for football, the Midlands. It really is. As Villa run the ball needlessly out. Leandro Bacuna, the guilty party, as he tried to get at an attack launch there. So a marvellous occasion here at Villa Park as they look to get back at the second attempt. Remember, they had an indifferent season last year. Obviously, Steve Bruce, he started off with Di Matteo at the club, and of course it didn't work out for Robbie Di Matteo for one reason or another. Of course, now they're not under the control of Randy Lerner anymore. I think those hard days are well and truly over, and there seems a very good deal of optimism here at Villa Park these days. As Taylor now attacks down the left hand side, tries to feed Lansbury down that left, but he can't do so. Good defending there by Hull, but they trail by a goal to 0. The goal early doors from Gabriel Bonlahor. Looks as if he's now getting back to his best now. Grozicki, who Burnley nearly signed a year ago on transfer deadline day, he tries to get the ball moving again for Hull. Ball back with Dawson, the captain, and he's giving it away rather carelessly. And now a chance here for Villa to exploit with Lansbury. Hogan to the left. Hogan now on the left hand side. 3 Villa players waiting to his right. Hogan does well. Good skills by Hogan. Hogan past 2, 3, 4, and then the goalkeeper did really well to keep Hogan out. That was a really good run. He was isolated and he did his best. He had 3 to his right here, Hogan. Beat one, beat another, and then in the end McGregor out. And he stopped it with his legs, kept his legs feet together and stopped the ball in that sort of way, and that was good goalkeeping. That keeps Hull from going further behind in the game, and it wouldn't It surprised me if that was the case, because Hull have been second favourites really in this game right from the word go, but they've got a chance here with Kozicki on the far side, on the near side, and Hutton sees it out for a corner, so a chance here for Hull to hit back with an equaliser. Coming up to 27 and a half minutes of the first half gone, 10 seconds shy of that in fact, and an opportunity here for Hector and Dawson and one or two others to come forward from the back and really make something tell here as Kozicki takes the corner from the left hand side towards the back post, and it's a bit of pushing and jostling going on, and unfairly from one or two of the Hull players, and a free kick it is to Aston Villa. Of course, this is not the only match we'll be featuring live this weekend. I'll tell you about some of the games while we've got a break in play coming up on Wednesday. On tomorrow we are at Wembley for the traditional curtain raiser, although the Football League season has started this weekend. Traditional curtain raiser, certainly for the big clubs anyway, because Arsenal take on Chelsea for the FA Community Shield. Join us at about 1:45 tomorrow afternoon for that one. Kickoff starts at around about 2 o'clock, and of course the EFL competition, the League Cup starts on Wednesday. Well, starts on Tuesday in fact, but where our match is on a Wednesday night as we head down to the Colchester Community Stadium, where Aston Villa are in action again. So we'll see Aston Villa in action once more as they take on Colchester in the first round, and you can join us from around about 7:30 to 7:35 that night. And then of course on Friday the Premier League gets underway with Leicester Arsenal. We will be following their progress again. Well, we're at the Emirates like we were for the first Premier League game we covered last season. We're there again this season on the Friday night, and they take on, as I say, Leicester City, champions nearly 2 years ago now, and they will 2 seasons ago now, and they will play on Friday nights again. Join us at around about 7:30 on Friday evening. And of course next weekend we'll have delayed coverage a week on Monday of Burnley against away trip to Chelsea, which has been played on a Saturday, but we will have delayed broadcast on the Monday afternoon, and we'll bring you that to you then. Plenty of football to look forward to, and we'll be bringing you a lot of the football this year from Burnley. We'll be following Burnley with great progress. Don't forget, LTF will be back on Saturday. Myself and Matt Clark will spend at least one day during the week filming that for your viewing pleasure on Saturday, and we'll have all the Premier League predictions. That's all coming back this season, and maybe one or two other surprises. As Agbonlahor has it inside the area, left hand side. Agbonlahor shoots down straight at the goalkeeper's throat, shot from the left hand side. In the end, I think it was Emery Lansbury who in the end knocked it down. But a really good first half from Aston Villa. Half an hour of the game gone. They've looked a really good threatening side, and it was Emery Lansbury in fact who had the shot. We've got the sun right in our faces here at Villa Park, which is not going to be easy for identification purposes. Let's hope Wembley's a lot kinder tomorrow. This is Villa on the attack, and here they come again with El Mohammadi. El Mohammadi plays it out towards Lansbury. Lansbury back inside, and that's a little bit of Glenn Whelan then. But Hutton takes it up for Villa. Good football this from Steve Bruce's men, and in the end Hutton's through ball comes to nothing, and it's Alan McGregor. 31 minutes almost gone. Aston Villa 1, Hull 0 if you're just joining us, and it's the goal scorer early on as well. And LTF is now a new channel. Mad Cloud of course has created a second channel for all you fans who enjoyed LTF the first time last year. He's created a whole new channel, which will just break off for a second because it could have been a second goal for Aston Villa, but it's kicked away off the line. I think it was Hogan inside the 6-yard box who tried to flick it forward, and I think the ball might have been going wide, but obviously the whole players, the whole defender just had to make sure. I think it was it was Dawson just hooking it away. A lovely crossing again from the right, and Hogan gets the put on it, but Dawson just whacks it into touch safety first for a corner for Villa, who won the European Cup back in '82. Of course, John Terry was there. He was going for that header, but Hull City got there first. The whole defence got there first. Then the shot back in, and just narrowly ricochets wide of the target for a Hull City goal kick. Well, it's all happening there. If that had gone straight to John Terry, I think he might have headed that goal. Was Grzycki arguing the case with the referee? It was Glenn Whelan who finally had the shot that drifted wide of the right-hand upright of the goalkeeper, as we see again on replay. But Whelan was involved. I'm not sure if he had the shot or not. Grzycki was certainly of the opinion he was fouled. Just to remind you that Mike Clyde has created a new channel, especially for Let's Talk Football. It's called LTF. Imagine that's the initials of the programme, and it has a new home as from this season. And you'll be able. We'll leave you a description in. We'll leave you a link to the channel in the description below once the game is uploaded. And remember, as for all the commentaries, as it was for last season, if you miss it the first time live, you can always catch up with it there. All the commentaries that we do every time we come on here, they'll all be on YouTube whenever you need them. Even last year's commentaries, we still have those on demand as well if you want to listen back to some of those classical moments from last season. But it's this season, of course, and it's nice to be doing fresh as well. Hopefully we'll do far more games. We did 39 last year. We're looking to do a lot more than that, 75 games, and there'll be one or two extra. Hopefully we'll enhance the coverage a little bit more, do a couple of double headers. We're looking to add a couple of more commentators to our game roster as well. But more of that as the season goes on, as Villa go on the attack with El Mohammadi. Just to the right of the dig. Good ball in there towards Akbon Lahore. Tried to run to the byline, but instead the ball beat him out, and it's a goal kick to Hull City. 33 and 3/4 minutes gone. Villa looking every so threatening when they get on the ball, and they look absolutely superb. I think the bookies may have got it wrong in terms of Middlesbrough being the title favourites. I know they bought Brett Asamoah, but I think £16 million is a too massive price for a guy that's been kind of injury prone for so long, and they've had a setback again at Wolves this afternoon. I think Wolves you've got to take more seriously, I think, than Middlesbrough, considering that, yes, okay, that they finished just outside the relegation spots last time out, but I think Wolves have got to be up there as contenders to win the title, I think, and I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting scrap at the top of the Championship and at the bottom, of course, where there's several teams. Millwall, of course, will be bookies' favourites to go down, of course, but well, you never know what might happen. There's usually a surprise package comes up this year, and there's quite a number of good teams that with a good opportunity. Preston have a chance this year as the cross came in from the right. They'll get a throw level with the penalty area, but you've got the likes of Preston North End who had a good win themselves today. I think Alex Neil will probably get the best out and continue the good work that Simon Grayson did before he moved on to Sunderland. His team drew 1-1, remember, yesterday. Forest and Mark Warburton beat Millwall at the City Ground as the cross comes in from Hutton towards the back post. It'll be kept alive by Bacuna. Now the ball back again midway side Hull territory. Now the ball down the right hand side. Bacuna has it there and keeps it in by the corner flag, and it comes off a Hull player last, and it will be a Villa throw just a yard from the corner quadrant. And Taylor to take it back to Bacuna, and Leandro Bacuna now left hand side. That's Taylor in support. Taylor in a bit of space here on the left. Taylor measures the cross beautifully. Still half cleared by the Hull City defence, and in the end Grzycki can knock it back, and Hull can clear their lines for a moment or two, because Villa are going to come back at them again with Bacuna. He goes down. Referee was unmoved, and away go Hull now on the break. Opportunity knocks for them. Grzycki now on the left hand side. The player, of course, Burnley almost signed. Still 1-0. Hull now just slowing the pace of it down. Hector now to Dawson, just inside his own penalty, in his own half, I should say, penalty area, own half. Been a good first half, and anyone who's listening in, or might be listening for the first time, give us a shout, and let me know how you think the game has gone from a Villa fans or a Hull fans perspective. Of course, we want to hear from Villa and Hull fans, of course, and trying to hear from a few of the guys, a few of the supporters who we will try and cover this year. Of course, we'll be covering Burnley in greater detail, of course, quite naturally, but we'll be covering games like this, and of course we've got the Community Shield match to come tomorrow. I think that will be an absolute cracker. 37 minutes of the game gone, still that one goal from Gabriel Bongo at the start of the first half, around about the 7th minute, that divides these two sides. Remember, Villa were relegated 2 seasons ago, and of course last season it was Hull's turn to be relegated after an heroic effort to get them out of trouble. Villa had an indifferent start to life in the Championship last year. They finished mid-table in the end. Here's Hutton now, right hand side, plays the ball in low, real opportunity here, and there was a Villa player go down. Referee was quite adamant, no penalty. We'll have to look at a replay to see whether he got the ball cleanly or not, but the referee was in a very good situation, had a clear view of it in my opinion, and he made his decision right away. In fairness to him, he felt that the Villa player had made a bit of a meal of it, and in the end it turned out to be that case from the referee's vantage point, as Hector now just slows it again down for Hull. Well, it's been a first half really. It's been dominated in the main by Villa. Hull have threatened a couple of half chances, but nothing too significant at this precise moment. It's been a really good first half. That's been a very watchable game here at Villa Park, and Hogan goes on the chase, and Hull can get that one away. So remember the big news that John Terry did start, and he's done okay on his debut. And I have to say, I think you've got to say, I think it's ambition shown by the Villa board and the Villa fans as well. I just think there's a great sense of optimism around Villa Park at this moment in time, but with the score at 1-0, it's still anyone's race, of course. So it's all very much to play for as Henriksen gets the ball back, and then a long ball forward up towards Henriksen once again, but it's lost out, and now Whelan can pick up the pieces for Villa and get them going again on the counter attack. Bakuna now takes it up 10 yards inside in the Hull half. Now inside the centre circle, Whelan plays it out towards El Mohammadi on the right hand side, and he'll run at the defence. El Mohammadi back to Hutton. Hutton with the first time cross, but it's too close to the goalkeeper McGregor, who takes that and plucks it out the head, no problem at all. So still remains 1-0 to Villa. As I say, John Terry was the big opportunity. This was the Bongo penalty shout. Gets the ball for me. I think that's a very good tackle there by the Hull City defender. And that was no way in the world of being a penalty kick, I have to say. It looked a good tackle from first vantage point, and the referee, as I said earlier, was in a very good situation to see it, and I have to say he got that one spot on. Good refereeing there by the referee today. So very good stuff here at the moment as we look at some of the statistics. Hull have had a bit more of the possession, but Villa more than less outdone them in the shots department as Lucas tries to go forward. We've got that 4.5 minutes to go to half time, and so far Villa, despite trailing in possession terms, leading in the goals section by a goal to nil. Fraser Campbell hasn't had too much of a sniff so far, neither has Bowen or Abel Hernandez for that matter. Been a bit disappointing really. They've gone 4-4-4-3-3. They've wanted to try and attack Villa. It hasn't really worked because the Villa midfield have tried to break everything up as Hogan tries to battle with Dawson on the far side, and Dawson won the particular battle and got it away. As Hull try to get another attack going here through Hector. Hector now up towards halfway, plants the ball out towards the far side. Header won quite cleanly there by Neil Taylor, who of course made that horrible tackle you may remember last in the Welsh-Irish game that we covered earlier this year in the World Cup qualifiers on Seamus Coleman. That's put Coleman back at least a year in terms of his development, and he may well come back later on in the season. But the last knockings of it perhaps, but it was one of the most horrible challenges we've had the privilege of covering, or the displeasure of covering really on the YouTube channel. so far. I'll have a throw, level with the penalty area, long throw, and Terry heads out. Not very far, Al-Mohammadi in to win the next one. There's the shot, just wide. And it was just wide. In fact, Abel Hernandez turned and swiveled on the edge of the area and shot just wide of the target. It was a long throw that caused all the problems. Terry winning that first ball away. And then the ball came back once more, and then the shot from Hernandez on the turn in the end didn't come to much as far as Villa were concerned. And well, I will be disappointed. That was probably their best opportunity of the first half to get themselves back in the game, back in with an opportunity of being on parity going into the half-time break. Of course, we'll keep you up to date what else has been happening in the Football League, and of course Celtic had a winning run, winning start to the season. They beat Hearts 4-1 up in Scotland. Hibs have won as well on their return to the Premier League. Hibernian, great club. Edinburgh. It's good to see the Edinburgh derbies and the Old Firm derbies back in Scotland this year. And the SPL has been far worse for it, as Bakuna now has it. Dawson tracking in now down the left hand side. Inside the last 90 seconds of normal time here in the first half, and here's Glenn Whelan now, and he finds Hutton in field, and the ball worked back towards Whelan, and Whelan just works it back, and Whelan gets it a second time, tries to dummy and solves, and Al-Mohammadi slipped, and Grzycki now going through in the middle. Grzycki now, he's got one to his right hand side, a real opportunity here for Hull City. Good save by Johnston, then the rebound off, beaten away by Johnston by Grzycki. Oh my word, it was Whelan's misplaced pass, and then Al-Mohammadi slip let the door ajar for a second or two there, and Sam Johnston, the Villa goalkeeper, performed heroics. This is what happened. Grzycki winning the ball there when Al-Mohammadi slipped on the turf, laid it in here to Campbell. Campbell had the first shot, good save there, and then Grzycki on the rebound punched away as the ball comes in towards Hernandez. He wins the header quite well, but it was a tame one at that, and Johnston again working overtime there to make the save, as we see Al-Mohammadi again on the ball, plays it infield towards Whelan. Whelan now trying to maraud forward, and of course now in the last 30 seconds of normal time, then we're all down to our fourth official to see what is going to be added on at the end of the first half here at Villa Park, the great traditional grounds of English football. A free kick, in fact, has been given to Hull City. Remember, you're more than welcome to comment on the game. If there's any Villa or Hull fans tuning in, we welcome you to the stream. 2 added minutes at the end of the first half, and you know the drill by now, folks. If you need reminding, once the half-time whistle goes, we'll take 5-minute break. The stream will still stay on, and as this free kick comes in, headed away by John Terry, throw to Hull just by the corner quadrants on the far side. Well, won there by the Aston Villa captain, and he said Chelsea captain as well. So, there we go, as we come up towards well into the 2 minutes, as I say. It's been a first half really that has been pretty it's been really good to watch, a really enjoyable first half, and I for one have enjoyed it, to be quite honest with you, as we go into the closing stages of the half. As I say, it's been a tremendous first half, full of incident, full of magnificent football, enjoyable nonetheless, and Villa good value for their lead, although they should be further ahead in my opinion in the context of the game. It's been quite an enjoyable match here for the first 45 minutes here at Villa Park. It's been an enjoyable, as I say, it's been really enjoyable, and we've brought it to you here on this YouTube channel as a chance there for Villa inside the penalty area, but it's come to nothing in the end. Al-Mohammadi really working the oracle, and it's a throw, in fact, to Aston Villa as we come into towards the penalty area. And a little known fact, Mike Clory, where he gets these statistics from I will never know, but he says that John Terry played in the Championship for Notts Forest back in 2000, where he actually had a 6-game loan spell. Yes, a lot of people think he played for Chelsea. As the half-time whistle goes, and John Terry's debut for Aston Villa so far has been a good one. A decent first 45 minutes for him, but the goal early on from Gabriel Bonahor has been the difference. Fraser Campbell's come close for Hull when he had his shot beaten out, but plenty for the Hull continued to do. As for Villa, they should be happy with the way they played first half. They didn't let... It seems to be a lot more optimism in their game so far, and maybe that horrible last 2 or 3 years that they've had. The goal came in incidentally in the 7th minute of the match, and that's the way we stand. But the football has been fluent. It's been energy sapping for the Hull players. They've had a lot more possession, admittedly, Hull, but they haven't done much with it. And Villa should be contented the way they've played in this first 45 minutes here in the EFL Championship so far. So John Terry's debut going well at the moment, and so at the break we've got a 1-0 half-time situation here to Aston Villa in the first game of the Championship, and our first live match of several this season. Well, over 9 months, and we're going to have some real thrillers hopefully from 5 competitions. So we're going to take 5 minutes. After that 5 minutes we'll be reminding you of what's already happened in the Championship and the Football League this afternoon, and of course what happened in Scotland too. So we'll take 5 minutes, we'll have a breather, and we'll be back very soon with the news that Aston Villa are leading Hull City in our first match of the season by a goal to 0. See you in 5 minutes. And welcome back. We're at half time here at Villa Park, 1-0. Let's keep you up abreast what was happening in England and Scotland this afternoon. Let's go check through the scores for you. Starting of course with England, we'll start with England of course, and what's been happening of course last night. Sunderland and Derby drew 1-1, and Forest beat Millwall. So let's check what's been happening today. Let's start with what was the Championship. So Bristol City 3, Barnsley 1, Burton 0, Cardiff 1. These are full times, by the way. Fulham and Norwich ended 1 each. Ipswich beat Birmingham by a goal to 0. Preston 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. QPR 2, Reading 0. Sheffield United 1, Brentford 0. And Wolves 1, Middlesbrough 0. And of course our match tonight, Aston Villa currently winning 1-0 at the break. In League 1, and we've a few surprises here. Oldham 0, Oxford 2, Bradford 2, Blackpool 1, Charlton 1, Bristol Rovers 0, Doncaster 0, Gillingham 0, Fleetwood off to a good start there, 2-0 winners against Rotherham, MK Dons 0, Wigan 1, Bury 1, Walsall 0, Peterborough 2, Plymouth 1, Portsmouth 2, Rochdale 0, Scunthorpe 1, Wimbledon 1, Shrewsbury 1, Northampton 1, and a real shocker for Blackburn Rovers. Mind you, being a Burnley fan, I'm happy with this. Southend, well done to them. Big mention to Southend, beating Blackburn by 2 goals to 1. Get in there, Southend, well done. And finally, of course, there's Lancashire interest in League 2, of course, with Accrington, of course. Exeter 1, Cambridge 0. Accrington did beat Colchester by 3 goals to 1, incidentally, at the Crown Ground. Chesterfield 1, Grimsby 3. Coventry 3, Notts County 0, so a winning start in the basement division for Coventry. Crawley 1, Port Vale 3. Crewe 2, Mansfield 2. Carlisle 1, Swindon 2. And Forest Green Rovers drawing 2-2 with Barnet today in their debut in the Championship. Not a good day though for Yeovil. On the wrong side of an 8-2 reverse at Yeovil at Luton today. Morecambe off to a winning start, 2-1 winners at the Globe Arena. Stevenage Newport finished 3 apiece, and Wickham and Lincoln under the Cowley brothers, it ended 2 apiece. And let's go in fact, while we're on the subject, let's go into the National League, because there's been obviously there's been some games in the National League today, and not such a good start for Leyton Orient, who were relegated last year and lost 2-0 at Gander Green Lane to Sutton United. Wrexham 0, Macclesfield 1, Bromley 0, Eastleigh 0, Dagenham and Redbridge 2, Barrow 1, Halifax 0, Aldershot 2, Guiseley 2, Ebbsfleet 2, Fylde 2, Boreham Wood 2, Maidstone 1, Maidenhead 1, Solihull and Chester match postponed, Torquay 0, Tranmere 0, Woking 2, Gateshead 1, and Hartlepool, who are making their debut in the division, 0. Dover Athletic, who have made something like a 600-mile round trip to go up to the northeast of England today. Well, it's been well rewarded because they've beaten Hartlepool by a goal to 0. Now into Scotland, into the Premier Division up in Scotland and Scottish Premier Division. So 4 games taking place today. Celtic won 4-1 against Hearts, 2 goals for Lee Griffiths in that one. Dundee 1, Ross County 2. Hibernian back in the division again, back in the top flight for the first time in about 3 years. And winners today by 3 goals to 1 over Partick Thistle. And Kilmarnock 1, St Johnstone 2 is this final score there. Scottish Championship. Dumbarton 0, Morton 0, Inverness Kelly Thistle 0, Dundee United 1, Livingston 1, Dunfermline 1, Queen in the South 4, Brecon City 1, and St Mirren 3, Falkirk 1. In League 1 of Scotland, Albion 1, Ayr 5, Alloa 1, Raith Rovers 1, Arbroath 2, Queen's Park 0, Forfar 2, Airdrieonians 1, or Airdrie for short, and Stranraer 1, East 5-0. Oh my words. And finally, to finish off the scores in England and Scotland, we've got Scottish League 2, Annan Athletic 1, Peterhead 2, Berwick 3, Clyde 1, Edinburgh 1, Montrose 3, Elgin City 1, Cowden Beef 1, and finally Stenhousemuir 2, Stirling Albion 3. So that keeps you all up to date with what's been happening up and down in England and Scotland this afternoon in terms of the scores. And we're just waiting for the 2 teams to emerge for the second half here at Villa Park. 1-0, as I say, for Aston Villa at this moment in time, as we await confirmation of any of the teams coming out of the tunnel. But it's been a remarkable first half, really, in terms of the way Villa have attacked, and have certainly played some purposeful stuff. Hull have had a couple of opportunities. They've had some very impressive performances as well. Just to go through, I do think that it's going to be a tough second half still for Hull City. You still have to make Villa the favourites and that sort of thing. Let's just, before the teams do come out, let's just remind you of what we've got coming up on the YouTube channel in the next week or so. In fact, let's see. Well, we've got some more live football, and it's Chelsea and it's Arsenal in the curtain raiser traditionally for the big boys to enter the fray. That's the FA Community Shield again at Wembley this year, where Tottenham will be playing their home matches, incidentally. So two of Tottenham's rivals firing off at their new starting their season off, funnily enough, at their stadium. Then that will be taking place at Wembley tomorrow. Kickoff 2 o'clock, and we'll be on the air at about 1:45 in the afternoon to bring you full commentary of that game. Then on Wednesday night, it's EFL Cup time, and our main game, our tie from that round, first round, is the game between Aston Villa away at Colchester United, very near where Mike Claret actually resides, in fact. So I'm sure you'll have some interest in that game as well. That again will be live from around about 7:30, 7:35, with a kickoff of 7:45. And at the same time on Friday night, the Premier League gets underway with the first Premier League match. It's Arsenal in action at the Emirates Stadium against Leicester City. Again, join us at the same time on Friday night. Again, the kickoff sale at the same time, 7:45. And finally, a week on Monday, we'll have delayed commentary of Burnley against away at Chelsea in their first match of the season. And yes, we'll be keeping a very close eye on Burnley's progress this season. And to let you know that the reports are sadly coming, of course, of what's been happening at Turf Moor in that final pre-season friendly. We've had reports that the Hanover supporters, the German fans, were started a ruck in the Kickoff stand not long actually after Ben Mee had scored in the 41st minute at Turf Moor. And in fact, up until then, it was quite a good watch actually. Ben Mee took his goal considerably well, and Burnley, of course, have had a good pre-season. They've been unbeaten in most of their matches they've played so far. Let's see if we can get any latest reports from that before we begin the second half here. Well, as I say, it was done on police advice, and Sean Dyche has had something to say. He said, "We went on police advice, we're still piecing together the details." Now, apparently the seats were ripped up and thrown after visiting supporters had surged towards the home fans in the cricket field stand around about 5 minutes before the end of the first half. And of course, Burnley fans, many of them, I suspect children, were evacuated from the stand, and they went to the Hargreaves stand. But the players did not reappear because the decision was taken to abandon the match. And Dyche went on to say, "The referee came to see me and he wanted us in the room just to get a feel for our general thoughts. I made it clear it came down to safety. The police decided to call it off, and we support that. We also understand that. It's important, of course, what the team does, but it's not as important when people come to a football match. You want safety and you don't want people, obviously, to get hurt. It's a shame what's happened, but it's done. It's as simple as that. In the bigger picture, I think the lads are fit and well, and I think they've shown some good signs in pre-season, and there's still more to come." So Burnley's pre-season ending on a sour note with the German crowd trouble here to Turf Moor today, as the second half incidentally gets underway at Villa Park. But just to bring you up to date, that the game at Turf Moor, the friendly match between themselves and German side Hanover 96, was postponed, and I'll tell you my feelings on that later on after this game, as Villa now attack the whole 10 in the second half. The second half about 41 seconds old, and Villa get the first free kick of the second half. A foul against Hector, who almost go away with a really cheap corner, and he's given away a cheap free kick in the game. John Terry at the back, looking to feed for any headers that might come his way. He's inside the penalty area, so too is one or two other players. Oh, that looked like handball to me. Hogan had knocked the ball forward, and it looked as if a handball there by one of the old defenders. We'll have to see whether that was handball or not. Referee again in a good situation, waved the penalty appeal away. Andy Madley. Now, was this a penalty? I'm going to look at a replay here. The ball brought back, and there it is. Now, is the arm out first of all? Well, it comes off his body and onto his arm. I think the referee's probably got that one right, because it comes off the side of his body and then onto the arm. I don't think under the laws of the game at the moment, Enya was not really the one to know about that, to be fair. The Hull City left back, meanwhile they've got a free kick, but I don't think the referee was wrong in the least. I think that's another decision he's got absolutely 100% correct. YouTuber Visai, of course, he's a big YouTuber. Just to go back to the trouble at what's happened at the Turf this afternoon, he was called on it. He says people are confused on what's happened. Basic silly anti-German chants was sung, of course, out about the war and stuff, and well, I thought we got past that stage where it was, you know, I mean, it looked like World War II looking at the pictures, but anyway, I'm sure we'll get more news, and we'll try and get interviews from the two managers, and of course we'll try and get Sean Dyche's point of view on what actually happened during the full-time sequence here after this match here at Villa Park, because I think it's worth reporting here, certainly from a Burnley point of view, as Hull come forward in our main event this afternoon, and they've got a corner out of it, and the shot's from about 20 yards, which deflects wide. Now a real opportunity now for the men from Yorkshire, or East Yorkshire, or Humberside of course. Hull, up until a few years ago when the football team started performing, were famous of course for their rugby league team, as Bowen takes the corner in towards the penalty area, and there's a little bit of a scuffle as Lucas tries to shot on the edge of the area. The ball now breaks again. Enya gets it out. Now Bowen has it on the near side. Bowen now trying to size up the option. Bowen with a left-footed shot hit John Terry. And they're having a good go here. Lucas gets it out towards the far side. Now the ball hooked in there by Henriksen. It may well be kept in here. His ball's beaten Henriksen out of play, in fact, on the near side. And well, a goal kick has been given. Better from Hull in this second half. Matt Clark goes on to say, in terms of the violence, the seats were actually thrown by a few Hanover fans. Various videos on Twitter shows pretty good angles as who was possibly to blame and stuff. So, well, I'm sure we'll get more reports as we get that throughout the night here, and of course I'm sure we'll try and bring more of it. We'll try and bring Sean Dyche's view of it. We were going to bring you commentary and action from that game, but considering the scenes that are going on, it's really it's deemed pointless now, because it was abandoned after 45 minutes this afternoon, unfortunately. But it would have been nice to get the full 90 in, and we could have brought that to you delayed and full action, of course, from Turf Moor. They can't ban us for that because it's a friendly game, so I don't think we can be done for that because it's not a Premier League game. Meanwhile, John Terry hooks it out for a throw by the far corner quadrant. And Fraser Campbell is lurking inside that area. He's had a couple of sightings today as the Hull City striker. And of course there'll be repercussions from what happened at Turf Moor as that ball comes in towards the 6-yard box, and they were all queuing up in there. Campbell was in there, Abel Hernandez was in there too. Still Grozicki on the far side. Grozicki now trying to get the cross, comes off Howard Hutton for a corner, and Hull's starting to, as they say, they attack the Whitton Road end of the Villa Park, the north stand where those executive boxes are behind Sam Johnston's goal, and it allows Dawson and Hector to come forward from the back. There comes the corner from Grozicki towards the 6-yard box. A brave header away. I don't know who it was, but it's out now towards Enya, and Enya now will try and run at down the right hand side. Enya keeps the ball in play, but it's given away now to Hogan, and Hogan gets away from a very, very late challenge. Did really well. Hogan stayed on his feet, was good on his play. Now the ball with Taylor on the left hand side. Taylor knocks the cross in towards the back stick. Header only half away. It might well drop here for a Villa player. The header was won quite forcibly but fairly, said the referee. And now Grzycki has it on the far side. Grzycki now being tracked all the way by Hutton. Grzycki now running at Hutton. And Hutton winning the race and getting the ball away down the Villa right hand channel. And now, oh, Al Mohammadi was surely checked there by the referee, and in fact it was Lansbury, sorry, who's been checked over on the far side. And of course McCord also goes on to say, in fact this was an earlier incident there, wasn't the one that we were referring to. It's got a blue bottle around the commentary box, it doesn't help matters. He also goes on to say, McClaren, he says that the Hanover 96 fans actually trashed the Wacky Warehouse family bar play area on the way down. Well, that is just ridiculous if that is the case. You know, you come to another country, enjoy the culture, enjoy the thing. At the end of the day, you're in someone else's company and country. Respect the people that welcome you here, and I'm afraid the Hanover fans should hang their heads in shame. I'm afraid it's the German fans' opinion. I think it's the German fans' fault. They need, and I hope and never pray to see a German side come to Turf Moor and cause that amount of damage. We're proud of our town centre in Burnley. Meanwhile, there's a treatment for Lansbury, but this is pathetic. If that is true, and it looks a good chance of being true, because McClark doesn't give us false news sources, he gives us plenty of, more often than not, factual ones. If that is the case, then the Hanover supporters should hang their heads in shame, because there are kids and families that go into that pub, and I've been in the pub a couple of times during the summer as well, chilling out and stuff, and there's good food there, and if they've trashed that bar up, then that is absolutely pathetic, and I think they should be I think they should all be locked up, as far as I'm concerned. If they're going to start World War II, then I'm sorry, but that's just absolutely pathetic. But there you go, that's my verdict on it. Of course, I'm going to take the Burnley bias point of view. I'm sorry, I thought the German fans had a bit more class than that, and it turns out that certain German fans don't have that particular class, and I thought the Germans were class, but they're not, obviously, so not the Hanover ones anyway. Meanwhile, here at Villa Park, Lansbury's up on his feet once again, as we prepare to restart proceedings here at Villa Park. We've got a blue bottle around our commentary box area, which is sort of starting to annoy me a little bit, but we'll try and ignore that as best we can. The ball out of touch there on the far side for the goal kick, and really I was looking forward to bringing you live coverage, and unfortunately with all the events that have been going on at Turf Moor today, it's sort of been a little bit of a drab start to proceedings when having to report that, and it's sad really, but at the end of the day, you know, we can't control what happened down there, and but hopefully we'll put that to rights by reporting and commentating on a wonderful game of football so far that Villa and Hull have served up here on the opening day of the Championship, opening weekend I should say, the Championship season. Shot coming in from about 35 yards over the top for a goal kick to Aston Villa, and it was Abel Hernandez with the pot shot. He can hit them from that sort of distance, and unfortunately on this occasion it was just wide of target. It was something like 35 yards out, right foot well wide of target, and into the north stand behind Sam Johnston's goal for a goal kick for Aston Villa, which has been taken accordingly. We're coming up towards the 10-minute mark of the second half here at Villa Park in North Birmingham. A great hotbed, of course, many years of English football. Villa, of course, league champions as recent as 1981 and European champions as recently as 1982. It's sad to see that, really, a great club like Villa. And same could be said in Nottingham Forest. They were twice winners as recent of the European Cup, the most recent coming in 1980. But it would be nice to see a couple of teams like Villa and Forest back in the top flight again next year. Two former champions of Europe, really languishing in the second tier of English football. It's sad to see, really. Two great Midland clubs as well. It's really sad, but hopefully them two, both Forest and Villa, will be on the way back, because they have got great traditions, great proper traditional clubs, got proper traditional grounds. The City Ground is just as good as the stadium here at Villa Park, and Villa Park is absolutely an unbelievable place to watch the football, that's for sure. I've been a couple of times, and it's a lovely venue for football, and you can see why it's hosted so many of the FA Cup semi-finals of very years past. Fouled by Burnley, by the way, and Hull getting on with it straight away, and oh my goodness me, the goalkeeper and the defender, they're getting in almost each other's way. Hutton chesting it back and almost selling Johnson down the river, but thankfully for the goalkeeper's point of view, he scrambled back in the nick of time to pounce on the ball, and in the end no harm was done, as it turned out. Still 1-0 to Aston Villa. The goal after 7 minutes from Gary Agbonlahor, the first goal of our coverage this season, which will take in, of course, not just the Championship, of course, we'll take in the Premier League, which we'll be covering a lot of this year, certainly Burnley as well, and of course we'll be covering for the first time the Champions League, and of course for the second year running we'll have the FA Cup and the EFL Cup in the whole entirety. We covered a couple of games last year, but we'll look to cover every round from the EFL competition. And of course, as I said at the very first time, starting from the group stages, we've got potentially 5 teams involved from England, 6 if you possibly if you include Celtic in that, in the Champions League, and we'll be following their fortunes with great relish this year. Champions League, of course, the big hitters like the Barcelonas, the Juventuses, the PSGs of the world. Here's one for you to get guys to get involved with. What do you guys think of the Neymar transfer? 199 to 200 million pounds. Is that a silly price to pay for a footballer these days? Let me know in the comment section on the right hand side, and if you listen to this delayed, let me know in the comment section below what you think of the Neymar transfer as well. I think it's absolutely ridiculous, and I think money's going to ruin the game of football. I mean, the transfer records in the Championship are being Brzezinski can't keep that in play. You're not missing much at the moment. Villa's still winning by a goal to nil as we now come up towards the hour mark. But I think the Neymar, I mean, the direction that's going to be on it. He's also claimed in an interview with the BBC that he has not gone there just for the money, but you look at the wages they're going to be paying him, like nearly £500,000 a week. It's just unbelievably. I mean, if people got that sort of money, it's gonna price big name stars out the game, and anyone who wants to get a piece of the action. I mean, with PSG at the moment, they're gonna. I mean, it's a great coup for them, don't get me wrong, but I think the amount of money that's been spent on it's just ridiculously stupid. And I think football clubs are now getting to the stage where it's now getting ridiculously bad prices. I mean, that is £200 million for a footballer is way overpriced. I never thought I'd see it in my lifetime. I thought we'd see the first £100 million player, but we've sort of gone way beyond all that now, haven't we? I have to say, when I first potentially broke that could be the case, I actually laughed my sides off. I didn't honestly think it was possible to sign someone for nearly 200 million, as free kick's been given there against one of the Hull City players. Free kick on the right hand side to Aston Villa, as John Terry again comes forward to try and add his presence. Matt Clark makes a very good point. We'll come back to that in a second, as that ball is flicked in there towards the penalty area. Hogan was in there too, and it's hooked out for a corner. It will be a corner, I think. Came off the defender last, and it will be. Matt Clark also says Neymar could buy Jack Cork in 20 weeks. He could actually. That's a very good humorous but good way of looking at things. Here's the corner then to Aston Villa. Terry and Chester both forward from the back for this corner now. Can it be 2-0 to Villa as that corner comes in? El Mohammadi is there. It's towards the back post. Hogan was also charging in to try and get on the end of that, and in the end Hogan getting away, and they'll get the throw about 5 yards from the edge of their own penalty box off Leandro Bacuna, who really needs a good season. Really, his last couple of years really has been poor. I remember when Villa were relegated and Stan Collymore on the radio was really scary, and he's a big Villa fan, of course. Stan Collymore played for the club and question a lot of the Villa players' attitudes, but there's certainly none of that so far. But here's a chance for Campbell. Campbell going forward all the way, still might come to here now to Grozicki. Grozicki now gone to the right, gets a good crossing. There's a man for it, the back post, it's in! Hull have equalised, and it's young Bowen who's got the goal. 1-1, and Hull have come back into it, and young Bowen has made it 1-1. A big feather in his cap there, and to score at Villa Park is no mean feat. And Aston Villa have been pegged back here in a game they looked in very much in command of and looked in charge of. They're now being pegged back 1-1. A lovely move this. Grozicki takes a lot of the credit here because Villa really didn't clear their lines properly. Then the ball comes here to Grozicki that Burnley almost I remember last year, and it was a quality cross, and Bowen at the far post absolutely unmarked. I'll tell you what, his namesake Jim would have said bullseye. That's super smashing great from Bowen, and it's 1-1 here at Villa Park. I had to get the Jim Bowen gag in, didn't I? But it was a lovely volley from Bowen. 1-1 then. Smashing, super great. And Hull back in the game. Great feather in his cap. And a great feather for Hull really to get back into this game. Didn't look as if they were going to get back into it, but they have now, and it's 1-1. A great moment for young Bowen. 62 minutes gone, and he cancels out the early goal after 7 minutes from Gabriel Bongohor. So Steve Bruce's side, having been in command for most of it, have now got to come again and try and score a second. Here's Taylor on the left hand side. Taylor plays that in field, and Aston Villa will be a little bit disappointed really with the defending there. John Terry will have had a few choice words with his colleagues there, because he wouldn't want to be associated with a goal like that, although take nothing away from Bowen's goal. It was a super strike. So 1-1 it is, and here's a chance now for Hull. They're on the break again with Campbell. John Terry beat him to the punch this time. Lovely moment there for the youngster from Hull, and it was a marvellous goal there. So 1-1 is the current score here at Villa Park. Bongohor for Villa, Bowen for Hull. Here's Dawson now, midway inside his on off, gets it up forward towards the left hand side, but there's nobody in our amber and black shirt over there, and it's out for a throw almost by the tunnel in fact, here at Villa Park. And John Terry, the debutant, who made all the headlines at the start of the match, he's looked pretty good in defence tonight, I have to say. He's impressed me immensely tonight, John Terry. His fitness, even at his age, is still showing well, and I think he's up for 46 games of the Championship potentially this year. And he'll know full well that this is going to be a marathon and not a sprint. But this is Grozicki sprinting down the right hand channel. He's put a good ball in there, chance inside the area for Hernandez, and it took two Villa players to charge that down, and it's out for a throw almost halfway inside the Villa half. It could have been so much better for Hull, who are having a good spell here at the moment. They're really taking the game. Here's Glucas. Glucas now on the halfway line, plays it back to Dawson. Dawson back to Hector. Hector now knocks it forward. They're having a good go here, Hull, in the second half. They've had a good spell here. Bongohor just hacks it away over the halfway line, looking to feed Lansbury, but he won't reach Lansbury. And then the ball back to goalkeeper Alan McGregor, who's probably been a little bit unemployed in this second half, in fairness to him. But what's been a really cracking first half has been that Villa dominated. Has been a totally different second half, and Villa a little bit disappointing really that the way that the goal came about from Bowen. This was Whelan on Bowen in fact. There's a free kick for Hull. So another opportunity here for the Tigers to go into the lead. And well, great opportunity really now for a second goal here for Aston Villa. The free kick is floated in once again towards the back post, but no one gambling inside that area. It was just a bit overhit in fact, and it's a free kick, or goal kick I should say, to Aston Villa with 65 minutes of the match gone. And But a good game of football, a good way to start the coverage here on the YouTube channel. This season, of course, we'll be back with the Community Shield, not charity now. It used to be called the Charity Shield. Villa last won that. In fact, they shared it with Tottenham back in 1981. That was the last time they won the Community Shield, although they didn't win it outright. They kept it at Villa Park for 6 months, and then the Spurs took possession for another 6 months and shared it. Drew 2-2. We have an outright winner of the Community Shield these days, and of course tomorrow we could have the potential for penalties if it ends a draw after 90 minutes. There's no extra time. Of course, it's still, strictly speaking, a pre-season friendly, although it is the traditional, or it was the traditional curtain raiser to the new season. As the cross comes in towards the Hernandez inside the area from Grozicki on the right hand side, hooked away by Villa. Hogan jumps in there. Lansbury takes it up, number 8. Tries to play it in, but he can't find the attackers. And now Hull break up the play. And here's young Bowen, whose tail will be very much up now, having got the equaliser. Bowen again takes possession. And I have to say, a good tactical masterstroke on the whole management team. They swapped Grozicki to the right and Bowen to the left, and it's worked an absolute treat for them in this second half of the spot. And this is Grozicki now, the Polishman. Gets it back. Now Lucas will spread it forward left-footed towards the penalty area. Hernandez and Campbell were waiting, so too again was Bowen. And now here comes Whelan to bring it away for Villa. Bowen goes, Whelan rather goes down, and the ball was given away, but Villa win it back. Johnston to find Terry. Terry now just miscontrolled the ball, but he was in a lot of space anyway, so he was able to easily recover, and now finds Taylor on the halfway line on the left hand side, back in field towards Leandro Bacuna, who's had a quiet second half thus far for Aston Villa. Back inside to Glenn Whelan. That could be a very astute signing from Steve Bruce, as Whelan finds Hutton goes out to the right. In fact, Whelan came from Stoke, I believe. Here's Taylor now to Bacuna, trying to build something down the left hand side here, Aston Villa, but at the moment we've got a lot of players back behind the ball. Bacuna now tries to work something down the middle this time, and here is Whelan now will spread it to the right hand side, and there's opportunity here now for the likes of El Mohammadi to run at the defence, but a good block there by Bowen gives Villa a throw. And El Mohammadi took it back to Hutton, and now El Mohammadi again on the far side, and then the cross gets a little deflection on it. Might come here to Bacuna, shoots with his left foot over the top, and a goal kick to Hull City. And that was the first real opportunity that Villa fashioned, and a substitution about to be made, I think, for Hull City. They will be happy so far with the scoreline as it is. Fraser Campbell is the man being replaced. He's had a few half chances, but so far won't get on the score sheet today. He will come off with 69.5 minutes gone, and it's taken an awful long time to get over to that dugout area up on the far side. And on comes David Myler, who's played for Steve Bruce as well at Sunderland as well as Hull City, of course. And Villa are about to make their first alteration of the game. Ashley Mottram has just said, I've just come from the Oldham Oxford game. Hope you're well and enjoying the game. Yes, very much so. Good watch here at Villa Park today, Ashley. Andre Gray comes on for Bacuna, who's been in and out here at Villa Park this afternoon. 70 minutes exactly gone. We've got about 20 minutes exactly to go, and McGregor with a free kick. Just to remind you, the goal scorers at Burnley Hall after 7 minutes for Villa, and Bowen after 62 for Hull. So a good first half, and it looks a good match so far to start our coverage this season, and at least we haven't got a goalless draw to bring you. Of course, Ashley, as you will have seen, we've done a trailer. We did the trailer earlier this week, and with all the games to come, let me remind you myself that we've got the Community Shield tomorrow. Then on Wednesday it's cup tie action from the EFL Cup, where we've got Aston Villa again, in fact, against Colchester United away from home. And of course the Premier League starts on Friday night. We start, and our coverage for the Premier League starts with Arsenal against Leicester. That again is live on the YouTube channel, and of course Burnley will be featured heavily, and we'll have their first match on a delay form, which will be broadcast 2 days after the actual game, and that will be broadcast a week on Monday. And of course we'll try and get double headers in. We're looking at new commentators, and we'll announce anything else if we can get new commentators in and we can get the connections and everything like that going. Then we might be able to bring more commentaries, and it means I can do a little bit more of the presenting. We'll try and enhance the coverage, and Ashley says he'll look forward to this. But this has been a good watch, an interesting game in the Championship. Remember, we've got the EFL Cup, the FA Cup, the Premier League, and of course we'll have some more Championship games. We're hoping to bring you at least 10 of those games, and then there's the playoffs as well. The Championship playoff final, the FA Cup final, the League Cup final, Champions League of course, where we'll follow the fortunes of 5 English teams, possibly Celtic if they get through, and of course ending with the pièce de résistance in just under a year's time, the 2018 FIFA World Cup, which is taking place next year in Russia. Will England or any of the home nations make it? Well, we'll find out as well in our international specials. And that is a late challenge as well, free kick. There was a silly challenge there by David Myler, and it gives Villa a chance from this free kick. It's going to be Henry Lansbury to take it on just to the left of the penalty box, and real opportunity knocking here for Aston Villa if they can get their noses in front from this free kick situation. I have to say that I think the referee's had a fantastic game for once. I think it's good to see that a referee has tried to allow things to happen, and I think it can only be good for the game really, that the free kick I don't think came to anything in the end, and in the end it's out again. A throw on the far side in actual fact. Been a good first half, and Ashley does go on to ask, I apologise there, we had a little bit of loss of sound. As how was John Terry done in his Villa debut? Well, I have to say he's had a solid game, not spectacular of course, but he's had a good game nevertheless. He's done marvellously well, but we've just got a free kick in fact to Aston Villa again. 10 yards inside the whole half. It's been a very good second half, I have to say, from both sides. Villa dominated the first. Hull have certainly had the better of things in the second half. Here comes the Villa free kick into the area. John Terry attacking it. He goes down, but there was never going to be a penalty. And then the ball chipped in towards the back post, and it's out for the goal kick in fact. And so I have to say, I also want to John Terry's done really well as well, I've got to say. Just see the opportunity there for Aston Villa. That was not a penalty. I have to say the referee's been bang on the money this afternoon. I have to say it's been a very good masterclass of refereeing. I have given referees a bit of stick on this YouTube channel in the past, but I have to say we've got to give Andy Madley a little bit of credit. He could have given 2 controversial penalty decisions in favour of Aston Villa, but he was right on both occasions. As Hull tried make something happen here at the other end, and now it's away, and a chance here for Villa on the break. Hogan tries to chase that down. It's a throw to Villa, and almost over the edge of the Hull penalty area, and it's a great opportunity now for them to try and take the lead here at Villa Park. 1-1 needed to score here in the second city. Oh, that looked a very, very crude challenge, but Mai was allowed to get away with it. Could be controversial here, because at the other end we've got Krasicki breaking down the right. Looked a free kick to make. Krasicki's cross. Johnson takes it, no problem at all. But I think there was a foul there. I think the referee, should have blown for a free kick. I'm not sure how you guys interpreted it. I certainly thought it was a free kick. Here come Villa now, looking to come again with Green. Green on this side. He's got Taylor on the overlap. Still Green has it. Has to play it back though to Lansbury. Lansbury inside to Whelan. Whelan inside the centre circle, just inside the Hull City half. Now it's out on the right hand side with Hutton. Infield once again. Good turn, but lost, and in the end it's been lost by El Mohammadi. And El Mohamedi very quickly to win it, and Villa get the decision. It's a free kick against Hull City. It's a foul there by Sam Glucas on El Mohamedi. It's a free kick about 30-35 yards out, just to the right of centre. It was a clumsy challenge by Sam Glucas. We've played 76 minutes and 10 seconds of the second half, or of the game in fact. And well, it's going to be a close finish with 1-1 and the score into the last quarter hour. Obviously we'll try and get some news on what happened at Turf Moor after the match, and we'll bring you up to speed with that. So we'll be staying with you until way after 7 o'clock tonight. As Lansbury sizes up the free kick options here, there are 3, I think maybe 4 amber players in the wall. And Lansbury can hit a good set piece. We've seen this before in his Forest days. Burnley have tried signing him on more than one occasion. And as Lansbury hits it, and it's over the top, it was right footed and it just evaded the crossbar. A really good effort there from Emery Lansbury. It was an absolutely superb effort. Meanwhile, we're going to see another Villa change, and it's Hogan that's going to come off for Aston Villa. Done well today. Hogan, he's done magnificently well. He comes off. Steve Bruce gives him the high five, and Justin Anoma comes on to replace Scott Hogan. Really good first game for Hogan this afternoon. Goal kick meanwhile to Hull City. Alan McGregor will take the kick. Right footed, way over the halfway line here. Still one apiece here at Villa Park. In what's been a marvellous advert for Championship football. We saw a good 1-1 draw at Sunderland last night, which was an encouraging result for Simon Grayson's men. They've got to stop the rot, of course. They've had 2 or 3 horrible seasons, of course. As El Mohamedi has brought down his man, which was Bowen. Got the equaliser after 62 minutes, after Agbonlahor at the same end had made it 1-0 in the 7th minute. No goals yet at the Holt end at the moment, so Bowen for Hull and Agbonlahor for Villa are the goal scorers at the moment, as we now go into the last 12 minutes, 11.5 minutes to be exact, as Hull take the free kick. The ball out of play, is it for a goal kick? It is, yes, it's a goal kick. So we've got about just under in fact 11.5 minutes left to play here at Villa Park this afternoon. And it's getting a little bit nervy now on that Villa bench and in the stands here at Villa Park. But it's been an enjoyable watch. I've certainly enjoyed being back in the commentary box. I have missed our live streamings, I have to say. It's, you know, now we had the 2 weeks off, and hopefully I've not been too ring rusty in the commentary, but it'll be a lot easier game for me tomorrow at Wembley, with Chelsea and Arsenal will come at each other. Well, we see the competitive debut of Alexander Lacazette. He's been signed for a cool 40 to 50 million pounds. So a statement of intent from Wenger's side, who are now playing the Europa League, and it's the first time in Arsene Wenger's reign that there will be no Champions League football at the Emirates this season, as the free kick will come in from Villa in just a second. Terry and Chester both forward from the back. Bonlahor's in there too. What can Lansbury produce from this set play as we now go into the closing stages of the contest here in Birmingham, as this free kick swings into the danger zone and it's been tapped just wide of the back post. It was Green who came into the back post, and somehow or another Hull have hooked it away off the line. Steve Bruce head in his hands, he thought it was there. Lovely free kick here from Lansbury towards the back post, and evaded Chester, and then it came to Green, and in the end it was hooked behind for a corner. Might have come off Bowen last. It's another corner here to Villa. Terry and Chester can still stay forward from the back towards Chester that time at the near post. Headed away. Lansbury to get it forward. Now up towards El Mohamedi from the pass here from Whelan. And there's the crossing from El Mohamedi. It's a dangerous one. And hooked away by Hull City. What a game this has turned out to be. We're inside the last 10 minutes. Villa 1, Hull 1. A good first game to bring you here from what was going to be several crackers, and I did use the tagline, it's been explosive, but it's been an explosive end to the second half so far. We've had 81 minutes, and for a game that's only had 2 goals in it, it's been quite a good watch. I've been really impressed by the way both teams have gone it, and Green just needed to get better direction and better contact, and that would have been 2-1 for Aston Villa. As it happens, it still remains 1-1. And what a fantastic game it has been to describe for you on this YouTube channel. It's great to be back in the commentary box, and it's great to cover Aston Villa at Villa Park for the first time ever. So Villa Park is a different stadium we've ticked off. Apologies for the background noise. And well, we've had a game really to savour here this afternoon. We'll get news of what happened to the crowd disturbances at Burnley once the final whistle's gone. We'll try and hear from Sean Dyche about that as well, as we now go into the closing stages of the opening game of the season here in the EFL Championship. It's great to see meaningful league football back on the YouTube channel again. Sky, of course, sponsored by Sky Bet, of course. Here's Green now on the break for Villa, and it's a corner. Less than 7.5 minutes of the second half to go, plus any injury time at the end of the game. And Villa now starting to come back into it a little bit, and John Terry and James Chester will both come forward from the back. Whelan is standing on the edge of the 6-yard, or the edge of the D there. And it's going to be Lansbury with his corner, right footed in towards the 6-yard box. Won there by Hull, but it's headed back in with great interest by Taylor. Then it comes out to Whelan, who can't hit them. Now Green has it on the left hand side. Green tries to work some space to get the cross in, and then Hull managed to clear the danger away up towards Abel Hernandez. Hernandez beaten to it, and Hernandez takes possession again, finds Bowen, who got the equaliser. Here's Bowen, good tackle there by Green. It'll be a throw here which Sam Lucas will marshal here for Aston Villa, for Hull rather. 1-1 is the score, and it's been a good watch, as I say. It's we'll look to try and win this game. I have to say I've been quite impressed with Hull's work rate, and it's been a magnificent game so far. And as Johnson takes possession now for Aston Villa, 84 minutes almost have been played. The referee's had a good game, I have to say. He's got one or two of the bigger decisions absolutely spot on today, as he's tried to let the game flow, which is great to see from Andy Madley's point of view. I have to say, refreshing refereeing as well, and it's good to see, really. And it's been a very well contested championship fixture, whatever it turns out to be. I think both teams can come out of it with quite a lot of credit. Villa, the way they've attacked, certainly in the first half, and of course the very good promises for Hull City as well, with the equaliser from Bowen. I've been really impressed with both teams' industry and work rate and effort and endeavour. But at the moment it looks as if it's a point apiece, unless we can find a winning goal, as Aida comes forward down the near side, feeds the ball in towards Lucas, and now a chance here for Dawson to slow things a little bit down at the moment. And again back to Dawson in there towards Grzycki trying to, or rather Myler trying to knock that one forward. And it's going to come for Villa now as they look to try and snatch victory here against Hull City. 1-1 is the score here, in a very well contested game here at Villa Park. Here's Green now, cuts in from the left hand side, feeds that in, tries to work a 1-2 with Green, but it's knocked away once more. And here comes Villa again. Terry picking up the loose, or Whelan rather picking it back to Terry, and then Whelan has to get it back to Terry once more. But a decent debut by John Terry. And here's Chester, the other centre back, plays it out to Hutton. Hutton, who's had a decent game at left back, done really well, plays that ball in there, and again Lansbury going in there with a challenge, but it's been a An interesting 85 minutes, and I think both teams can be pleased with their efforts so far. Here's Green. Green on the left hand side. Plenty weight in the centre in claret and blue. It's still Green for Aston Villa. And now Taylor. Taylor will get the cross in, but it's charged down. Taylor will have to try again. Terry gets that one away, up towards Green again. And again, Prakti was barged into from behind, so a free kick. Aina with the challenge. A chance here for Green and Cole really to make something work, which again allows the likes of John Terry and James Chester to come forward and try and go on the end of things here. They might as well go for it now, and Lansbury will take control of the set play. 86.5 minutes have been played here at Villa Park here in the opening game of our season here on the JB Carrot YouTube channel. Short to Green. Hull weren't ready for that. Little chip in there towards the back post. It was just a little bit too strong of the cross, but it's still been kept in play on the far side by Ahmed. Ball back in there, and Chester attacked in inside the 6-yard box. Back as far as Lansbury. Lansbury now chips it in. Lansbury in there towards the Villa head. Touched in under the back post. He was touched over, and it was Anoma who came in, and that should have been a second Villa goal, but he couldn't get the effort down. He tried to cheekily volley it, a lovely cross in, and well, it was debatable whether he was offside or not. It was certainly very close, and in the end his right-footed side foot sails unfortunately into the Holt end behind Alan McGregor's goal, to the vast frustration of the Villa Park support. And a few Villa fans, certainly in the Holt end, I can see preparing to leave and head towards the cars, trying to get away from the matchday traffic. Spaghetti Junction is not too far away from this wonderful venue as Bonahall goes on the chase, but it's another throw. Still time yet for a winning goal here at Villa Park. 1-1 is the score, and a very entertaining match it has been too. We'll stay with you for a little while longer just to get some more news and try and get hopefully get a reaction from Sean Dyche on what happened at Turf Moor today. We were going to bring you footage of the whole match this afternoon between Burnley and Hanover with the commentary from them, but as a little surprise and as a little treat to everybody. But unfortunately a few German supporters have spoilt that particular opportunity because the match was abandoned at half time, with Burnley winning for a well taken goal through Ben Mee. But we'll bring you more up to date on that as we once we finished here at Villa Park and bring you up to speed with what's happened elsewhere. We brought you the results from earlier on at half time. And here's Green down the left hand side for Villa. Can Villa nick it at the end? Green tries to get the goal in. It'll come for Taylor now on the near side. Taylor darts in field. Has Green out on the left. Green now towards the byline. Gets the crossing towards the penalty area. Touched back by Bonahall. Adama trying to play that in there towards Lansbury and made a little darting run inside just to the left of the 6-yard area. Marvellous finish to this game here at Villa Park. We're in the last minute of normal time then in the opening game of the season. Attendance has just come through 31,241. 31241 is the attendance this afternoon at Villa Park, or rather this evening now, as the clock at the time in Birmingham ticks towards 7:20 in the evening here on a Saturday night. Final change being prepped up by the Hull City management. Of course, Villa about to make their final substitution, and it's big Chris Samba, of course. Remember him? And he's going to come on and replace Henry Lansbury. I think Villa just trying to show it up at the back, and I think they'll be happy with of the point now. I think settle for a point, although big Chris Samba can get you a goal or two. Dare I say, the former Blackburn player, which didn't, some of his performances didn't go down too well with certain Burnley fans. Meanwhile, another substitution. Grozicki has had a tremendous game, I have to say. He's been one of the better players on the day, and he gets a good reception from the travelling support down below. Gives a nice little clap to them and comes off, and we're now deep into the stoppage time. I don't know how long we're going to have. I think we're just going into the 90th minute now. James Weir will take his place with the remaining seconds that remain here at Villa Park. The free kick to be taken 4 into 4 added minutes, and we almost had a minute of that as that ball was headed away by John Terry, and then the ball back in there once more, and Samba gets his first touch, plays it out towards El Mohammadi on the far side. El Mohammadi's first touch was a little dodgy, but he's got possession there and he plays it in there towards Samba. Samba trying to win the header there, and I think it's been headed away. 1-1 as we now go into the closing stages, and it's been a really interesting finish here at Villa Park. 1-1 has been the score here. Remember, we'll bring you up to speed what happened elsewhere. We brought you up to speed what happened in the league game. And then meanwhile there's a substitution. 1-1 is still the score. Samba didn't quite go on the end of that ball. And Lucas, I think, has been substituted, or is it Henriksen? I think Henriksen is the man who's going. And Uye Mazuch is about to come on with the score deep into time added on at 1 apiece. So Mazuch will get at least a minute or two at the end of the second half. As Aston Villa look as if they're being held for a point. We're now into the 3rd minute of the 4 at the end of the second half. I mean, a remarkable second half of football for you guys to enjoy, and it's been a remarkable game, and I've really enjoyed bringing it to you live on the YouTube channel. It's been an absolute delight to bring it to you, and we still might get a late bit of drama here as Villa try to go on the attack. And now with fresh legs on the field, anything could still happen. We're now deep inside stoppage time. We're we're into the 3rd minute, I think, of the 4, and something has gone on there. Tottenham and Juventus have finished 2-0, I believe, in a friendly match at Wembley Stadium this afternoon, and well, we're still. Well, for some reason it's gone towards the Tottenham game, but I think the game's probably going to end 1-1 at the end of a real good contest here at Villa Park. I've really enjoyed the hustle and bustle here. So 1-1 is the score. We're still into stoppage time here as Villa and Hull go looking for the win. But I think it's going to end 1-1, I think, at the end of the day. And it looks as if we're going to have a final score of 1-1 here, as we try and get confirmation that that is the final whistle. We were in deep into stoppage time, and obviously the technology has broken down on us. We're still playing at Villa Park, incidentally, with just seconds remaining now here at Villa Park. And the ball back again to the goalkeeper right at the end of the game. It's been a great game to start our coverage this season, and of course the Community Shield of course comes up tomorrow afternoon. We're deep now. We've played well over the 4 minutes in actual fact, and still the referee hasn't blown for time. And we're still playing on here at Villa Park, as we're now way into the time added on period at the end. Free kick to Aston Villa. Bunglehorse there trying to get something going there for the Villa, but it's right at the end. It's just been I think a point apiece will just be about right as we go way into time added on, and Hull trying to win it themselves with Kozicki. The ball back to Johnson. Johnson gets it away, and there goes the full time whistle. In fact, so we played about a minute over the 4 minutes that were allocated, and I think on balance of play, as both Villa and Hull counterparts shake hands and the touchline on the far side. I think a draw is probably about right when you look at the overall aspect and the overall performance of the game. It's been a great first half, a good advert for the Championship. Hull will be pleased with a point. Villa will feel a little bit disappointed that they couldn't go on and win the game, but a really good game. Gary Bowler put Aston Villa in front in the early stages of the first half, and then in the second half, and then after about an hour, Jared Bowen with the equaliser that made it 1-1, and that was a really super move there for Hull City. So that it's finished 1-0. A great performance then from both sides, and I think they both should come out of it with a great deal of credit, and really well done to them at Villa Park. So that means Villa and Hull off the mark, which means Bristol City, as things stand, remain the top team at the moment in the Championship. They have a much better goal difference as things stand. The match statistics: 11 shots to 12 in Hull's favour, 5 on target for each of them, 5 corners to 3 in Villa's favour, only the 3 offsides, 2 for Villa, 1 for Hull, 11 fouls each committed as well, which was quite a good, and so a good clean game really when you think about the way it was played. 2 yellow cards for Villa, no red cards at all. 1-1 the final score, and I think on balance of play, the way the game went, guys, I have to say 1-1 was just about right. 2 good goals, one from Gary Agbonlahor and 1 from Jared Bowen. That really saved Hull a real point. It could have gone either way as the game wore on. Villa had chances towards the end. It was edge of the seat stuff, but at the end of the day, it's 1-1. A good performance from both sides, and I think both Steve Bruce and I think both managers should be absolutely delighted with the way both teams really went about their business this afternoon. It was really good to see. It was really good to watch, and I have to say it was really good from everyone to all to see. So there we are. That brings us to the end of the game here at Villa Parks, but we've had some bad news from one of the friendly games this afternoon, and it involves my team, I'm afraid, Burnley, because they were playing Hanover, the German side, this afternoon in a friendly match at Turf Moor, and sadly the game had to be abandoned after 45 minutes because of crowd disturbances, as you may have heard earlier on in the piece. We will get a reaction, but it was a goal from Ben Mee that won the match. Well, looked as if we were winning the match. Let's bring you the goal. Let's bring you that goal. Let's bring you what happened now. Let's hand over to our Clarets comment. Here's Krellberg. And that's only the thing what happened in the entire match today, unfortunately. That was Phil Bird there with the commentary, but it was marred by some mindless violence from the German supporters who have let their country down. They've let everybody down today. They've let their team down, their country down, and I'm afraid it was like almost a scene, having looked at it, from World War II with those German fans, and I think they're a disgrace to football and to their football club. Anyway, let's get some reaction from how Sean Dyche performed, because obviously we won't get any interviews from our feature match today, but let's hear from Sean Dyche and how he thought the whole thing went and his reaction to the crowd trouble earlier this afternoon. This is what Sean Dyche had to say as he reflects on the abandonment of the final pre-season friendly. Here he is talking with Clarets player.
It's most things in football, but another abandonment like that probably at half time in a friendly, an unfortunate day.
Yeah, that's right, and we went on police advice. I'm still kind of piecing together the details because obviously I was focusing on what was going on the pitch, but the police decided to make a decision. Obviously we fully support that, from myself and the team and the club.
just logistics of there, just put a head round at half time in the dressing room and just say we'll have to call it a day there?
Yeah, the police, the referee came to see me and said he wanted us in the room just to get a feel of, you know, our general thoughts. I made it clear it comes down to safety, and the police, you know, they'll make a decision, and they said yeah, absolutely, and they decided to call it. So like I said, we support that. We understand, you know, it's important what the team do, we quite know, but it's not as important as people coming to a football match. You know, you want safety, you don't want any injuries, you don't want people to get hurt. It's a shame what happened, but it's done. You know, it's simple as that.
Yes, we'll get to the bottom of it and talk about that in due course.
Absolutely.
In terms of football, I suppose a setback in terms you want to get 90 minutes today and you've had 45, which I suppose is
yeah, I mean, the players, there was a few played today we just wanted out there, we just want them to get the minutes in their legs. It's not overthinking it that it's been called at half time. It's just nice to have that locked in. You know, you get that fitness. Everyone knows that the true football fitness is that last kind of 15-20 minutes of a game. These players can easily handle a half of football, and most of them can easily handle most of a 90-minute game. But there's a few just a bit short. We were hoping for them to get the full game in today. But say la vie, there's nothing we can do now.
Not disrupting things too much. Will you have to just tweak things perhaps in this week to compensate, or?
Yeah, possibly. We've already started the wheels in motion with the staff. You know, if possibly look at adding another game in, even if it's just for 60 minutes for players to make sure they're topped up. We'll have to decide that, because we don't want to go. You know what it's like, instant reaction. You're disappointed you don't get these players to finish the 90 minutes. But in the bigger picture, I think the lads have fit them well. I think they've shown some good signs in pre-season. I think there's still more to come. You know, that true football fitness and true kind of eye-in, it's hard to get that in the first game of the season. It's usually after 3 or 4. Every club's the same, because these games are what they are. They're never quite the intensity of the reality of playing in the Premier League, but we've used it as wisely as we can, and it's just unfortunate today that the second half's taken away from us.
Yeah. Then you got 45 minutes into Westy. Nice to see him back after a little knock, and Scott as well, his first start after his busy summer.
Exactly, yeah. Well, Scotties need less football, obviously, for, as you said, his busy summer. We were hoping to get a bit more time with them today, definitely. Certainly Westy missed the one in the week with a knock, and there was probably 2 or 3 others who needed that game today, so that's the shame of it. On the other hand, some others have. We basically, to give our fans an overview, we look at all the minutes players have played and we try and get it to roughly position specific what they'd need, and there was a few short today, so that's the bit disappointing. They've not quite got that to lock in, but general fitness, very, very good.
Lastly, we'll talk about some nice positive news. Kevin Long, a new contract, which is great for the club and for Kev.
Yeah, I think he's deserved it. I think his patience last year, staying tuned in and focused on the job when he was often that kind of full centre half. He came in at the end of last year, did very well. He got recognition from, international recognition at the end of last season. He's deserved it, and he continues to develop. I've said many times about Kevin, he's a longer, sort of in the tooth development play. He came out of the league while he came out late, don't forget. So it's not about age for him, it's about that continuing laying down all the things that you need as a centre half, and I think he's done that well. So he definitely deserves to get his contract and deserves to be here.
And that'll be a lesson for anybody, how quickly someone's career can turn around in a very short space of time. I mean,
he deserves a lot of credit though, because we insist on the players here, and they insist on buying into the culture, and that is that everyone is respected, everyone has to work hard, because when your time comes, you've got to be ready to deliver. And sometimes, not at this place, but I know footballers who sometimes forget that, and then when their time comes, they get the chance, don't play well, and then they moan and blame it on the manager, and you go, well, you weren't ready. He was ready. He came in last season. He not only had a real strong go at delivering for us, he then played international football. Without keeping himself right during last season, he wouldn't have been able to do that. So all credit to him and his professionalism.
That was Sean Dyche on the verdict, and of course Kevin Long's contract. I don't believe that Kevin Long's the right man for Burnley at the moment, but that was Sean Dyche on the what happened this afternoon. It was sad, really, because there was a certain amount of people that wanted to get 45 minutes under their belts, and it's a shame for you guys that we were going to show that game in its entirety in the next 48 hours or so for you, but unfortunately that's not going to be the case, thanks to a few mindless German fans, I'm afraid. It's sad, really, to end that way. 1-1 it's finished in the game we were watching between Aston Villa and Hull, so no problems with that one at all. But a quick mention before we go: YouTuber Precise on Twitter earlier, 7 chairs had been thrown past my head. World War III, instead of bombs it's chairs, just another friendly game. And this is the point. I mean, we've watched a really good competitive football match today at Villa Park. There was no trouble, no violence, no nothing, and it was a terrific battle between two committed sides, and you see the German side at Turf Moor. Do the German fans actually realise this is an actual friendly match where there's nothing but just fitness and pride, and the prestige is just winning a football match at stake? It's nothing to do with that. It's not the World Cup, it's not the replay of World War II. I'm afraid the Hanover fans are the shame of football tonight, and I'm very disappointed that if that has been the case, and I've seen pictures of it, it looks as if the Hanover fans have caused trouble. They've tried to unsettle Burnley fans in an unfair way. They've come to watch their team play, they've come to watch their heroes play and get 45 minutes. They paid good money to watch it, and for them to have that enjoyment whipped away by a few mindless folks from Germany, I am very, very disappointed. And I hope, and echo what Mike Cloud has just said then, I hope they don't have any more business with Hanover for a while, because their supporters are a bunch of animals, and they need to have a look at themselves in the mirror. And I have to say, I'm afraid that they've let the country of Germany down, they've let themselves down, they've let their club down, and they've also, and if it is true that they've trashed the local pub as well, then I'm very, very angry about that, because Burnley has tried to clean up its act as a town and as a place for so many years, and then for people like them, these German fans, to come into a good pub, and I've been to the Hollywood Star and it's a nice pub, and to go there and see that ripped to bits, and if that is true, and then they will be held to pay. And I think those responsible should be looked up on CCTV and thrown in jail, as far as I'm concerned, because they shouldn't even be out on the street. That's my opinion of it. Yeah, they can foot the bill for the affairs. I think it's the people that have damaged them that should get locked up, and that, I think, in a prison cell behind bars with just 4 walls for company, I think is probably the best place for them. But anyway, let's finish on a positive note. Burnley have finished pre-season friendly, albeit 45 minutes shorter than they would have had, but they've had a good pre-season. We're still, I think, a couple of players short. I still think we need another centre back and a winger. If we can get those 2 quality players in, I think we've got a very good squad. Keep Andre Gray, and I think we've got every chance on improving on the 16th place we achieved last season. But that is it from me for this first live match of the season between Aston Villa and Hull City. I hope very much you've enjoyed our main event this afternoon. It's a shame that we've had to report the event at Turf Moor as well. We had to get Sean Dyche's view on things, of course, and brought you commentary of the goal scored by Ben Mee, which counts for little in the end, in terms it could have been a disastrous afternoon for Burnley Football Club, considering that the visiting supporters behaved like animals, thinking it was World War II all over again. But you know, it's no way to start. But in the game we watched at Villa Park this afternoon, plenty of commitment, plenty of endeavour, plenty of spirit from both teams. It was a cracking game. The fans, I'm sure the 31,000 who have been at Villa Park today will have enjoyed it. They will go home, I'm sure, with value for money. I've certainly enjoyed the cross commentary of the season. Just before I go, football, as I say, I'll repeat, if anyone missed it earlier, I'll repeat what the games, which commentary games that we're going to be bringing you in the next 7 days or so. Starting tomorrow, of course, with the traditional curtain, well, it used to be the traditional curtain raiser to the new season. It will be for the big boys, at least, as Chelsea and Arsenal battle it out again at Wembley. Ironically, now the home for the next 12 months of Tottenham, would you believe, in the Community Shield. Join us at Wembley from about 1:45 tomorrow lunchtime in time for the national anthems and the teams coming out in the kickoff at 2. There will be a decision. It will either be through 90 minutes or failing at penalties, of course. As for the week ahead, we've got 2 more live games after that. One from the EFL Cup, again involving Aston Villa. They go to Colchester United. That'll be a little bit of a personal thing from Mike Clark, because his residence is over in that area. I'm sure you'll have some sort of interest in that one. We'll be live on the air in around about 7:30, 7:35 on Wednesday night for that one, with a kick-off time of 7:45. And then the Premier League gets underway next week, and our first live match from there involves Arsenal. So they will be featured twice in a week, along with Villa, on this YouTube channel live. And they face champions of 2 years ago, Leicester City, who are looking to have a better season under Craig Shakespeare, who's in charge of his first full season at the KP. Join us again from around about the 7:30, 7:35 mark, and again with a kick-off time of around about 7:45 on Friday night, and then finishing off the weekend's commentaries. We have a special delayed broadcast from next Saturday's game between Chelsea and the Clarets, so we'll be featuring Burnley in their first match away at Chelsea. Could be a long old afternoon, but whatever happens, we'll bring you delayed commentary of the match in full on Monday, a week on Monday, or possibly Tuesday. We'll let you know in due course about that one. So plenty of football to look forward to, and then obviously later on in the season we've got the Champions League group phase, the EFL Cup rounds, more Premier League action, more Championship action, FA Cup to come in January, and of course next summer, in fact next June, it's the 2018 FIFA World Cup. I'm looking forward to that one. So our massive season began here at Villa Park today, full of hope and expectations. And I have to say, although it was sad to report on what happened at Turf Moor this afternoon, what Villa and Hull gave in real statement of intent and the way they went around. John Terry had a solid debut. Villa get a point and Hull get a point. Really decent game. Both teams played their part. Burnley Hall scored after 7 minutes for Aston Villa. Jared Bowen with the equaliser just after the hour mark made it 1-1. A really good game of football here at Villa Park this afternoon, and let's hope for more of the same as the commentaries go on. Plenty of, as it said in the intro for the coverage this season, it's going to be explosive, and that's the sort of explosive action we'd like to see more of this season, and no more antics of what happened at Turf Moor today. But thank you very much for listening to the live stream of the Villa Hull game. Hope to see you tomorrow afternoon for the Charity Shield, or the Community Shield match between Arsenal and Chelsea. But for me, JB, have a very good evening, enjoy your Saturday, and for me at Villa Park, it's goodbye.